Thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you, Sanjay sir and Gulabnath and all the organizers for organizing this session. Today I'm going to talk about Power Platform application lifecycle using Azure DevOps. And I will be also discussing first about myself. I'm Asif Waquar. I'm Microsoft MVP on Microsoft Azure and working with one financial organizations in Singapore from past 8 years. And this today's agenda. Today I'm going to talk about application lifecycle management in Power Platform. Then we'll discuss some key components and areas like environments and solution because about the Power Platform. And then we will see how we can package solution and deploy in different environments manually and in with the DevOps. And then we'll also see how different developers can work on the same Power Platform app simultaneously. And finally, if we have time, then we'll see how we can completely automate the process using Azure DevOps and GitHub Actions. So for today's demo, I will try to cover a few scenarios. Like first is suppose in most of the organizations, like suppose you want to create a new app of Power Platform, and then you want to make this application level development life cycles in different environment for the Power Platform app. So how you can create it, like how you can create an app and then how you can deploy in different environments like dev, test, and production environment by using import and export feature of Power Platform. And then suppose because most of the organizations might have their existing app, and so how you can package those app solutions and deploy in different environments like dev, QA, and production. And in scenario 3, we'll see that with using some experimental feature, how multiple developers can work on same app simultaneously, and how the data will be, reflected in app. And finally, we'll see how we can see the automated pipeline using Microsoft Build tools, how we can build that. So before I'm going to start, what is ALM? ALM is nothing but application lifecycle management of it. It consists on three key areas. First is governance, and second is development, and third is maintenance. But it's not about just about governance and maintenance and development. There are other aspects as well, like requirement management, tracking, monitoring, and a lot of other areas. So the goal basically is to reduce the development provide a consistent and repeatable practice leading to basically successful implementation and deployment, and avoid any human error intervention, and to save the time and cost basically. And it consists of four areas like development, source controlling, versioning, and build and test and plan. So how it's important in a Power Platform? So what are the things we need to consider to implement application lifecycle management in Power Platform app? To understand more about how we can implement the application lifecycle management in Power Platform, we need to think about two main key components. One is the environment and second is solution. And to give an overview, what is the environment and solution? So you see that if we have any Azure subscriptions, AD tenant, and in that there will be environment, and in that there will be multiple solutions. I will go much more in deep in dive for what is environment, what is solutions, and what are the components we present in solution. So environments are nothing but a container for storing and managing and sharing apps and data. In layman terms, what we see is whenever we are working on any applications in our organizations, like we have a dev environment, production environment, QA environment. So it's almost same, different environments in terms of Power Apps. We can create a different environment in Power Apps, like one is a sandbox environment, production environment, developer environment, and default. based on the user needs. Like suppose if you want developer environment, so you can create a sandbox environment. So it's non-production environment, and it's safely you can do the development. You can deploy on that, and you can reset and delete using sandbox environment. And in production is a regular usage and operation purpose we can use for the production. And developer, suppose if you want to test your own ideas to develop, build, and test solutions, you can do using developer environment. And there is a default. So whenever you get the license of Power Platform, there is default environment is created itself. And but when you go for the enterprise level, we need to choose a different environment like dev, test, and production based on our needs. And suppose if you want to test a application, means you want to develop application for and test, so you can also create a trial environment, and which is in two parts, like a trial and subscription-based trial. A trial is only for the 30 days, but subscription-based trial is you can renew one time after 30 days. That's the difference. And now let's go more in what is, now we understand that environment because we have dev environment, QA, and productions. But what we want is for at the enterprise levels, we want to build the app and with package apply application lifecycle management. So we need to package our solution in package our apps in solutions. Solutions are nothing but used to transport app and components from one environment to another environment. And it's something like you can, in layman terms, you can understand like a folder, or maybe, when we build any app like in C# or Java, so we build the solutions and then we, include our projects, something like that. So in that, you can have tables, columns, schema, relationships, and user interface. All this will comes under solution, and then we can package the solution from one environment to another environment. That is a simple concept in Power Platform, and which we can do in multiple ways, like using export feature. We can do via you know, GitHub Actions and Azure DevOps. So types of solutions in Power Platform. So, but like consider when you are doing the development in Power Platform. So there are two types of solutions. One is unmanaged, and second is managed solutions. So unmanaged solutions are for the development environment. Like you want to do a development and you want to make the customization in the environment. So you will go for the unmanaged solutions. But when you want to move the applications to the test environment, so we'll go for the managed solutions. So unmanaged solutions are there is no restrictions. You can add, you can remove, you can modify things, and it is recommended for the development environment. But when you are going for managed solutions, it is like sealed binary, and after that you cannot make any changes, and it cannot be exported. So it is recommended for test and production environment itself. When we are going for implementation of like solutions in different environment, so how we can consider like suppose if you want to build a prototype for quick, so you can choose unmanaged solutions, and it's non-prod. You want to do the POC, you want to test in different environment like dev and QA, so you can go for the unmanaged solution. But when you are going for enterprise level, then you need to have a managed solution because so now let's jump into the, because I have already explained a lot. Now let's, in today's demo, first I'm going to explain about the scenario 1 and 2, which is suppose you have a new or existing Power Platform app, and you want to perform a ALM, application lifecycle management, using export feature. So in different environments like dev, test, and prod. So how we can perform that? So I have two SharePoint websites like Bootcamp Dev and Bootcamp Test, and there is a list of so for I have an app called Employee Asset Management app, and I want to apply means application lifecycle management like a unmanaged solution, which is Bootcamp Dev, Bootcamp Demo Dev, and that I will export as a managed solutions, and I will import into QA environment, and how I will do that. So let's So before going to that area, so how we can means check our environment whenever you create a power, when you get a power platform license. So this is you will get in admin platform powerplatform.microsoft.com, you will get the screen, and by default there will be environment will be created for you. And suppose if you want to test for personally use, so you can develop a solutions in default environment. Whenever the environment is created by default, underlying database dataverse, it's assigned you 1 GB space. Suppose if you want to, for enterprise level, you want to test your application, do the deployment, and you want to apply ALM application lifecycle management. So you can create multiple environments. For that, I have created 2 environments. One is Bootcamp demo dev, and one is Bootcamp demo test. In that, I have deployed all my solutions. So yeah, let's see what I have done here. So this is my environment. You can see that I have selected as a Bootcamp demo dev, and in that I have multiple solutions. One is employee asset management, and one is a recruitment app. So this employee asset management I'm going to showcase today. How I in that what I'm doing is I have this asset management app, which is getting the data from SharePoint list, and this app I want to export and import in different environments, because as of now, so let's maybe I will create a from start scratch and will show how exactly it will happen. In that, first of all, you need to provide a solution name. When you are going to create a new solution, suppose you want to build an app from scratch, so you need to provide a solution name, and the publisher is like author, you can say, means who is publishing the app. So you can create a new, because by default there will be a CDS default publisher, but it's recommended to create your own publisher. So I have created already Bootcamp demo, or you can also create publishers like by providing a display name. So okay, and you can provide prefix is nothing but how you want to segregate your entities, means from the default entities. So I can provide MSFT. So my all the entities will be reflected as a MSFT demo object. And by default, the versioning will be 1.1.0. So let's go and create a solution. And in this solution, I will create a Canvas app, model-driven app, flows, everything will be packaged inside the solution, and it will be like a kind of folder which you can package in different environments. And by using either manual process, by import export, or by applying DevOps pipeline or GitHub Actions. The process is same. Like we will extract, and in zip file we'll extract and then we'll import into different environments. So same will apply into. So we are going to create a Canvas app. Now let's go and make some connection because I have already a SharePoint site, which is Bootcamp demo, and I'm going to connect to my SharePoint site to get the data from there. And we can make in SharePoint site, what we can do is when we are going to apply ALM, so in that what we need to consider is like suppose we are going to deploy from dev environment to QA environment, and if we are going to make connection and if we are going to export as a managed solution, so we cannot we cannot edit the connection, and then it will be issue later on means because our data will be coming from the dev environment because so that's why to avoid that kind of issue, so what we need to do is what will create an environment variables to make it dynamic. So let's go and create first, let's save the solution first. So if we are going to create a new environment variable, so there is a, you can choose the new environment variable, or if you want to create a choose from existing environment variable, you can also choose from existing environment variable. So because I have already one environment variable available, so I will choose from my existing environment variable. Let me, this is an environment variable I have added for my site connection. Now I want to get the data from the list, so I will let's just list connection. So now I have two connections, which is connecting to my site and getting the list of from the like asset manager because I have a data from asset manager. I have two lists. One is asset manager, one is the recruitment. So let's go and now what I will do is I will create a connection to get the data from this environment variable.
So while that's happening, you folks know about environment variables.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Okay. So since everything is like Microsoft 365, which is production, everything is in production, right? The end user perspective, correct? So you are just restricting that one SharePoint. That means you'll be creating a copy of the same SharePoint site into one or two or three.
Yes, exactly.
And you'll be applying the security to that SharePoint sites based by creating a variable. Correct?
Yes, exactly. So because when we talk about the dataverse is the underlying layer, so we get the data, you know. But in terms of SharePoint, because it do not recognize, so we need to create a two SharePoint site for different environments, like for development and for the production or for the QA, whatever. So based on that, we'll get the data from the SharePoint list. And in terms of you talk about the security, yes, we will apply the different environment variables. So that's why I will show you how exactly when I'm going to export my solutions, because currently I have given the solar connection for my dev environment, right? And let me show you quickly.
But one point there though, if by any chance the end user, someone like me, gets to know the SharePoint site, we can't do anything. Because I'll be
back to Azure group, AD group or something.
no, no, that, so what you'll have to do is in SharePoint, if you get the link, I can access the table, I can make edits to the table. Like somehow I found out. So there you will actually have to get into SharePoint permissions. And there is a contribute custom permission. There what you do is you disable people being able to see it. There is a tick mark over there for that. So when you untick it, even if I get the link, it'll say request access. But in reality, I'm able to enter data, do the CRUD operation. But it'll say you don't have access as an end user. So that way you can prevent people from accidentally going in. Good.
So if you see in my list connection, I have provided a site connection, which because this is my environment variable for the site connection, and then I am getting the list which is in my site, that asset manager. So when I'm going to export this unmanaged solution, so I will remove this, the current list from here. So when I'm going to import the solution in different environment, so it will pop up me to provide the connection string.
That's why you untick the current value.
Yes. Yeah, so now I'm going to make the connection. So if you see, we need to get the data from SharePoint list. You can see here, these are recent sites. This is a direct connection, but I want to get the data from my environment variable, which is available here in advanced options, site connection. And then in the list, I have asset bootcamp list. So that's, oh, sorry. I think I made the wrong connection because there was a list connection, environment variable. So let me make it again. So this is available. Now let's go and insert a gallery and choose the list connection here. So if you can see in my SharePoint list, there are in my SharePoint list, there are two records like iPad and this Model 4 and Model 1. And so this is displaying here. Now, this is my app. I want to package this app solutions into my QA and different environment. So let's see. Running. So let's publish this app first. So export the solution. Before exporting, first we need to publish the app. Now what we'll do is we'll export the solution in zip file and then we'll import into a different environment. So this is the way we do the manual, uh, using import and export feature. While it takes 1 or 2 minutes. Until anyone have any questions on this?
seem to be having a lot of solutions.
In way you have created the SharePoint, you are creating the bootcamp demo, some two things you have created. That's like an environment you have
Yes.
being, and accordingly, just wanted to understand the top level. So you will be allocating in the enterprise level, you'll be allocating the Azure groups, which is nothing but in the Active Directory, people, whoever wants to have access to that environment, will raise from certain area, and accordingly, will be maintaining it or controlling it.
No, 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 no. 1 second, hang on. Let's understand. If you go to the top right over there, you see settings, right? Asif, like, we are having a conversation. If you go to the top, while let him do this, you will actually see admin center, right? In the admin center, if you go in, that's where you create the environments. He's talking about environment variables, what he just did. But environments, that's where you can attach security groups to environments. So in the M365 Admin Center, you go create those M365 groups.
Okay. Yes.
Then you go to the Power Platform Admin Center, you create an environment, and then you attach that security group that you just created to that environment. So then it becomes its own environment. Then you're cordoned off based on the security group, whoever are the users, you've cordoned them off to this environment. Not everybody can access it. Then you go into Dataverse to the user tables, and then you locate the users who are part of that security group into your Power Platform. So that's how you build the 360.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that security group can also then become teams. So then you have a 360-degree holistic view and SharePoint as well, because SharePoint also sits on your security. So on all areas now, the users are contained. Over and beyond that, if you want to do roles within your environment, let us say I'm just a reader, he's a everything, Asif Waquar. There you get into custom roles if you want to and create that within Database. Like it is fabulous, the level of integration you can do on the security level is absolutely fabulous. So he's showing the environment maybe. So I mean, that's a quick way to access it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this you ask about is like how you can provide the access for the environments. So you can see there are security roles, users, and I have two different users in that. So I have shared my app with another user. So later I will share that what the rules and permissions in my next demo. I will show how exactly I have shared the app and what access I have provided. So listening.
And while it's doing, and let us know, Asif, when you want to start off, but while you're doing this, this is the beauty of using Dataverse versus using SharePoint as a data source. Okay. If you use Dataverse, you can move all the security aspects to Dataverse so that they will manage the entire architecture so that when you read it into the app, you don't have to do anything in the app. If you use SharePoint, then you'll actually have to create the master table for security, read it in, and based off whoever is logged in, you have to guide. Okay. So that you have to one layer of that layer of protection you have to build in the app. Whereas you have delegated it to Dataverse when you use it. That's all the Dynamics guys know this, but then for the SharePoint guys, it's fabulous. And Dataverse is like
same thing. I think Dynamics also we can access things.
No, Dynamics is there. Same.
Even same security role, everything, even security group also.
Exactly.
It will come in the Dynamics also.
Across the board, yeah.
So now I have changed. Now I have already downloaded my managed version, and this is like a bootcamp demo test. Oh, before downloading that, I didn't remove my environment variables because. So whenever we are going to export the solution, so we need to first remove our connection string because it will point to our dev asset manager list. I think I have already 10 minutes. Let's see this quickly. So I have removed my connection from the list. Now I'm going to remove the site connection. Now let's go and again just export this app. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll also see another this like how multiple developers can work on same app using Azure DevOps and Power Platform integration. Until then, it is going publishing. So let's quickly jump into that. So means like whenever you are going to create a solution, and in that, what you need to do is like I have created a simple Canvas app, which is my recruitment app. And in that, I am getting the data from the SharePoint list, same. And what I have done here is you need to, there is a Microsoft have released one experimental feature. And with that, what you can do is you can connect with the Azure DevOps, and multiple developers can work on same app simultaneously, providing the experimental feature. Yeah, actually, this feature is not permanent. It might be, it's for the development, and for the purpose, it might go anytime. But yeah, so, and it might be come for the production later on. So for that, what you need to do is you need to create a yeah, so this is my app, which is getting the data from there. So in that, to make the connection and work on multiple developers on the same time, for this app, what I need to do is there's upcoming features in experimental. You need to check on the show the Git version control settings. You need to make it on, and then you need to provide a Git version control connection. So for providing the Git version control connection, what we need to do is you need to have a project in Azure DevOps, and Azure DevOps is free for 5 users, until 5 users. So if you want to, you can try. And in the means you can create our project, and for that project, what you can do is you can create one personal access token. And I have already created a personal access token, which is valid for 1 month. So you can create a new token, and this token will be required while you are making the connection from Git version control. And you need to provide, second, what you need to provide is you need to provide a URL for your repository. So what you can see is I have already provided the URL for my bootcamp demo, and you can connect, you can specify your branch in your repository. I am connecting with my main branch, so that's why the branch is main. You can specify any another branch based on your DevOps strategy, and then you can create like if you have already directory, you can specify the directory name. If you don't have directory, you can provide a directory to create in that. And so now what I need to do is this is my app. I want to share with the different user for the development purpose. So what I will do is I will share this app. For sharing the app, because that users might be, that users also should be a part of your environment. So if you can see, I think this was the question you were asking earlier. If you, that user is not part of your environment, so you need to add in your environment and provide a role of at least a security administrator or custom manager. So this is the user I have already added, and now let's go and share my app with the. So what you can do is you can sorry, you can share the app. I have already shared the app with the user, and now what we need to see is suppose I am making the changes in this app, and these changes will be reflected same within a few. So I have already opened the other window with the different account, which is like a Bakui account. Okay, and now let's connect both the accounts and see if I'm making any changes here and there, and if anything is reflecting or not. So so now you can see is let me put both the window parallel. Close this. So now you can see this is changes are I have made the changes in with the different user account. So now let's refresh here and see the changes are reflected here or not.
It means real time.
It will be reflected in real time. You can see here changes are reflected in real time. So this is a really cool feature. When you have when multiple developers are working on the same application, and you can do the development in such a way that it will be synced with each other. You just need to
Also, the versions are maintained.
yes, versions are maintained. And so in my earlier demo, let me I think I have already exported the solution. So yeah, so let's download it. Yes. Now let's change the environment. The Bootcamp demo test. Import the solution. So this is the managed solution, so we cannot make any changes. So suppose if you want to make any changes, so you need to export the solution as unmanaged. And but it is recommended, to do the unmanaged solution. So when I will import the solution, it will ask me the connection link for my SharePoint site. So you can see this is asking my SharePoint site test or production SharePoint site link. That's why I have removed the connection from the. So let's. I'm going to provide this is my Bootcamp demo test. And it will point out my like asset manager list. So let's this in like this it will be uh, this solution will be imported in different environments like dev, production, and QA. I have very less time remaining, so I'll just quickly explain how we'll implement in DevOps. It takes some time because it's showing a notification like currently importing solution. So it takes 1 or 2 minutes to import a solution in that. Meanwhile, I will explain in DevOps because I think I don't have much time to. So you see that we have already imported, make the connection with the DevOps. So what we need to do is we need at the organization level, we need to install the Microsoft build tools to build the pipeline. And for building the pipeline, first of all, we need to install the extension. In the extension, you can see in the marketplace, you need to install the Microsoft build tool. So this is available from the Microsoft, and you can install this tool. And for means like getting the data from Azure Active Directory, you need to create a one service principal for running the pipeline. It is recommended to use a service principal, not a direct connection. Let's see if my connection is imported. Yeah, it's imported. Just a minute. Let me. So this is my app. Let's go run the app and see if the data is coming from the test site. So now you can see here is I cannot edit any site connections. It's like a managed solution. You cannot do any modifications in that. Oh, sorry, I need to just run. Let me see if my asset manager have any data or not. No, I don't have any data. So let's quickly add one data. It is available. So now let's refresh. Huh?
Yes, set manager list.
Oh, set manager. Then I think the data should appear here. Actually, sometimes it happens. I need to clear the cache because yesterday it was happened like almost 1 or 2 hours. I have created the connection from in dev environment and with the different environment variables, and I have exported as a managed solution, and then I imported in different environment. But because of the cache, uh, the connection was not correct, and then I struggled a lot. But this is the process. You have to import a solution in different environment.
Sometimes redirection also stuck actually. You incognito or something.
Okay.
Maybe try to refresh once again. Page refresh.
Let me just try in different browser.
Because sometimes I noticed it. Incognito direction get problem.
I think maybe I need to check and do again check. So for building the pipelines, what you need to do, there are two ways. Like one, you can choose, you can go and create a pipeline from YAML file. Suppose if you have already created using GitHub Actions, so there is a YAML available, so you can do that. Or what you can do is you can choose the GitHub repository, and you can choose the starter pipeline. And there is in the steps, you can see the Power Platform. So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to install first we need to do the installer. Means like because you can see the tool installer, and then we need to unpack the solution. And after that, we need to deploy into, so we need to follow the steps like first of all, the platform installers, and then we need to, this is how you will create the pipeline. But for that, running the pipeline, you need to create one service connection, service principal. So for that, you need to register app into AD as a app registration, and then you need to provide access to environment users. You need to add the users from the environment from here. you need to that service principal as a user to get the access to the environment and run the pipeline. So yeah, I think that's it for me today. So thanks.
Thank you so much,